Before we begin today's video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, click on the bell, and change it to all settings. For this video series, we're going to do something different. The whole idea behind this series is to explore the differences between heading out into the woods naturally or heading out into the woods to film for YouTube. With ever-increasing creators and social media platforms, a lot of our favorite genres have went through a dramatic change. We read less and look to the internet more to discover what it is we want to know. For this series, we'll take a look and see, are the social medias leading us astray? Are they inadvertently changing our perceptions on topics like bushcraft? Is our drive to get views and watch time minutes as content creators forcing a change on a particular subjects as we attempt to come up with new creative ideas? With all this being said, it is the internet. Please be respectful of each other's opinions. At least for a little while longer, we do have freedom of speech. Don't use yours to be rude to others. Their opinion is just as valid as yours or mine. It's your time to weigh in. In this series, we're going to discover what is bushcraft and what is YouTube bullshit. We're back. Today we're going to continue to explore what's bushcraft and what's YouTube BS. So for this episode, I want to look at tripods and hanging pot systems. So bushcraft was really made popular by Mors Kochanski back in the 60s. And since then, we haven't really learned absolutely anything new about it. Different theories, different concepts have been come up with, but we haven't really improved upon the craft at all. Now, as a YouTube creator, one thing I try to do when I go out for a camp is to try to do something different every time, so you, the viewer, aren't watching the same thing over and over. This, I think, can sometimes lead to a misconception about bushcraft or what it is when you are looking around on the internet. And since we're in a point in time where none of us seem to know how to read any literature anymore, we turn to the internet for all our answers. And here we are. Every time we come up with these different concepts as creators, I think it adds to the confusion or makes it more convoluted about what bushcraft really is. And today we're going to be taking a look at the pot hangers and tripods and all sorts of different hanging pot systems. And I'll give you my take as a creator, you know, what it is that I did bushcraft for YouTube as opposed to what I consider actual bushcraft, because in my opinion there's a big difference. So I'll let you know that. We'll go through the reasons why. So this is a pot hanger, an adjustable pot hanger that I made for this particular camp. It's made out of sticks. It was crafted in the woods, so I guess it's bushcraft, right? Can rotate right up out of the way, so you can just, you know, have your fire roaring away if you want. You can adjust it. This works extremely well for YouTube, and I'm going to show you a couple reasons why. So reason number one is it is adjustable, right? I've showed that you can change your heights on it. It's fancy, it's cool, it's slick, it's quick. Not much fuss or anything like that in the building of it. You can, you know, put your pots on there if you want something, just sit up there, keep warm, or, you know, the quicker you want it to boil or whatever, you just keep lowering it down, right? Now, as YouTubers, because we're always trying to come up with something different and creative, you know, there's other ways that you can utilize the different garbage that you bring with you out to the bush to embellish these sort of systems. For example, this is just a normal grill to go over the fire, just a normal Coleman grill. Pretty simple, pretty plain. Very seldom do you see these used anymore. You'll either see the Expedition Research grills or whatever like that. But you can utilize something like this to embellish how important or how functional this thing is. Obviously you can't use it like that because that's just going to fall off there, right? But you can hang it on there like that. You can put whatever on here to smoke and it'll just sit up there and smoke. Again, if you want to cook it right down low, for whatever reason you don't want to put it on the coals, maybe you're, whatever, you don't like getting any of that fine white ash on there if you did it incorrectly or whatever, you can use something like this to show the different types of function that a system like this can have, not only for boiling water with something like a pot, but also cooking your different meat and whatever like that, right? So here we are again. Here's another hanging pot system. This is at the same camp. This one is on my elevated cooking stand. So the idea behind this one is it's a rotating hanging pot system. So I turn it like that to get it over this dirt where the coals and my fire and stuff goes on here. Your pots, much like the other one, they just go on the end there. This particular one only has a little bit of room for deflection, so you're only going to change the height on this by maybe 2 inches. Same principle as the other one. Not only is it on the table, which adds to the glamour for the whole YouTube thing, right? Doesn't add to the function, it adds to the glamour. You can put a grill on there, same thing, smoke, cook, whatever floats your boat, right? So this hanger and really this whole stand, again, I lump into the YouTube BS category because that's why I made it. It was something I've never seen on anybody's channel or anything anywhere, and I wanted to do something different, so I made this. If I were to go out on a bushcraft trip, there's not a chance that I would make or construct something like this. It is 100% a waste of time and energy. It's just something that I wouldn't do. So another reason, again, why I say it falls into the YouTube BS category of things that we do as creators to try to get views and watch time minutes. So this is probably the most common type of pot hanging system you'll see, just a basic tripod. Most of the time you'll see the people tie it together with cordage. That's the way this particular one is constructed, so it's wrapped around a bunch of times and then you'll just see it's frapped in between. And this is a very common pot hanging system. This is probably the one you'll see the most. So now the real question is this bushcraft or is it more YouTube BS? Now it uses cordage and a few other things like that, but this basic simple design has been around since the dawn of time. In my opinion, it definitely falls into the bushcraft category. You don't necessarily have to use cordage. You can use a sapling, you can use spruce roots, you can use nettle cordage or any other kind of fibrous cordage that you can make. So yeah, to me, definitely falls into the bushcraft category. Let me know what you think down in the comments again. So another popular method that we can use when we head out is find your just basic common Y stick, sharpen one end, push them into the ground. I'm not going to push these ones very far in because I'm just demonstrating what you could do. You'll want to pound them in, make them solid. Just a normal stick. Put your pot on it. Set it over the fire, and that's basically it. Another method that you may decide to do, using your Y sticks, you sharpen the other two ends instead. You got your pot on your stick hanging out over your fire. You have one Y stick pushed into the ground. The one that you sharpened on the other end, you push it into the ground at the back of the stick, and then it just holds the weight of your pot and keeps it up over the fire. So again, it's another way to achieve the putting a pot over the fire. So with these two additional methods there, where you can have a Y stick on each side, a pole across, and your billy can in the middle there, or whatever you choose to cook with. Again, to me, that's bushcraft. You don't get much more bushcrafty. The only tool required is a knife. And you walk around, you find a couple little Y sticks and a straight pole, and you're done. The second method, same thing, only you're sharpening the opposite end on one of the Y sticks to push into the ground so that it forms a V on the back, goes up into the other V of the Y stick, and then continues on to hold your pot suspended over the fire. Again, same material, same amount of gathering time, same tools required to do it. So yeah, to me, again, that's actual bushcraft. You see it on a lot of YouTube videos, but again, there are only so many different ways that we can get creative with coming up with something to put over the fire. So you're going to use every method to try to change up your videos and keep things looking fresh every time. So with all these methods that we have mentioned so far, if I went out for an actual bushcraft trip and was not filming anything for YouTube, I still would not use any of these methods because, in my opinion, they are not the easiest. And when I go out to bushcraft, it's all about what you get out of how much time it takes you to get it. Does it do its job? Is it functional? Will it work? That's the way that I kind of evaluate it when it comes to these kind of things. And I got a couple videos here that I'll show you guys of how I would set up my cooking tripod system over the fire on an actual bushcraft camp. It's not glamorous, it's not cool. I'm going to quit talking about it because I'm pretty sure I got a lot to say about it here. The simplest way to make a setup like this work is to put all your Y sticks together, leave your additional branches on to hang your stuff, and you are good to go. So thanks again for watching, guys, and checking out today's video. I really do appreciate it. You know what my take is on tripods and hanging pot systems. Now I want to hear yours. You tell me what is bushcraft and what's YouTube BS down in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next one.